Mark Julio of Tekken and Evo fame, aka Markman, recently tweeted that, hey, the year of 2018 isn't over yet, and we should expect at least one more major fighting game announcement. But what does that mean? Well, the Capcom Cup Finals are this weekend, and it should stand to reason that we should expect a Street Fighter V Season 4 announcement. Normally I would be excited. I don't mind Street Fighter V all that much and have fun playing the game, but me and Street Fighter V are kinda going through a rough patch right now. In case you missed it, Capcom recently updated Street Fighter V to add what they call sponsored content into the game. You can turn this stuff off, but if you decide to keep it on, you'll see advertisements for Capcom Cup plastered all over stages, loading screens, and characters. If you keep the ads on, you'll get a little bonus fight money, because capitalism? I'm going to excuse the stage ads because they're not all that distracting, but the ads on costumes are bad, like really bad, like taking some of the most iconic aspects of a character design and lazily slapping an ad on it bad. I mean, seriously, they put ads over Guile's American flag arm tattoos, the kanji on the back of Akuma's tank top, and on Dalsim's skulls. Wait a minute. The skulls he wears around his neck are those of village children that died during a plague? What the fuck? That's like showing up to someone's funeral and be like, hey man, I'm sorry for your loss. By the way, before he died, your cousin told me that nacho fries are back at Taco Bell! Woo! Sponsored content and advertisements in video games aren't a new thing. Usually, in-game ads are integrated in such a way that they're pretty unobtrusive to the overall experience. But with this new system in Street Fighter V, these ads are so hideous that it's impossible to not notice them. It's such a shame too, because this isn't the first time that Capcom has played with sponsored content in Street Fighter V. Remember those costumes that you got when you bought specifically marked cans of Red Bull? I was actually totally fine with those. The way the logos were implemented into the costumes made it look like a natural piece of clothing, with one or two exceptions. But these ads look lazily slapped together, and if a character doesn't have enough clothes on to advertise with, don't worry, Capcom was so kind to add a gaudy-looking wrestling championship belt to slap their ad on, even if that character doesn't have any ties to wrestling whatsoever. Now, you could say that you can avoid these ads entirely by either using a non-default costume or turning the ads off, to which I say, buying a non-default costume with fight money can set you back by causing you to spend fight money that you may have used on another character or item instead, especially now that Capcom has further decreased the amount of fight money that one can receive at any given time by changing the number of replays on extra battle soldiers. This also sets up a bit of a hypothetical nightmare for tournament organizers, because what if a company like Razer wants to put their logo and reuse back? That means that companies like Mad Catz, Hori, SteelSeries, Logitech, and plenty of others are gonna be resistant to sponsoring an event where their competitors have a chance of being pimped out on a stream that they're sponsoring. But I think the biggest problem is the precedent that this sets for Street Fighter V and possibly future Street Fighter games. The fight money may not look like much now, but what about when Capcom isn't the ones plastering ads on Akuma's back? What about when, instead of 12 fight money, a company like Burger King pays to give everyone who uses their ads 100 extra fight money, 200 extra fight money? If Capcom decides that this is a direction that they want to go in, I can see a scenario where you can't turn off ads any longer, in a similar way to how the wild success of mobile game monetization models were an arbiter of things like loot box systems getting out of hand. Looking at the big picture, Capcom could be using the free trial for Street Fighter V from December 11th to 18th as a testing ground for a free-to-play version of either this game or for another Street Fighter down the line. And if that is the case, how are they planning to balance the economy for both free-to-play users and gamers that paid money for the game? With the way Capcom has been continuously restricting fight money gains since the game's initial launch in 2016, I honestly don't have any faith that they'll be able to balance those two economies in a way that'll satisfy everyone. Hey everyone, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I definitely appreciate the view. This is an experiment to see if these shorter, smaller videos are something that you might be interested in. I would love to upload more frequently other than these big projects, so every now and then I would really like to do a 5 or 6 minute video about the news of fighting games or the news of gaming in general. So let me know if you'd like more of these in the future, and if there are any news topics that you'd like to see me cover in this format. Alright, have a good one everybody.